welcome to this special edition of Ozarks Tonight. And I'm joined by at least two people who will look familiar to you. Our chief meteorologist, Jamie Warner, and our, what do we call you, daybreak meteorologist?
I guess that works, right?
Our daybreak meteorologist, Elisa Rafa, and special guest, Doug Kramer, who is the chief meteorologist for the National Weather Service here in Springfield. And how do you, as meteorologists, deal with a public that kind of goes, eh?
As on-air meteorologists, we're not going to go on air and issue our own warnings. That's not the way it works. We can talk about our opinions, but the National Weather Service folks are the ones that actually issue the warnings, and they kind of kick that whole process of communicating a severe situation in terms of weather to the public.
We will issue severe thunderstorm warnings if we feel as though a thunderstorm is going to produce damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or greater, or large hail to the size of quarters or larger. Just because a specific county is under a severe thunderstorm warning, that doesn't necessarily mean the entire county is going to receive that hazard.
And I think that's the problem, because over time people go, well, again, the last 50 of these on my phone, maybe the sky gets dark, maybe there's a little bit of rain where I am, but it didn't ruin my barbecue or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and ignore the next one.
There's a very large percentage of our warnings that are verified. Will be verified at your one specific location. That not always, but a lot of times it will be. Somewhere within that warning will receive that hazard.
And I think it's important for the public to know, too, that when there is weather, whether it be severe weather in the form of straight-line winds like we had, or tornado warnings, or hailstorms, or whatnot, these are dynamic situations. They're evolving. What we see at any given moment isn't going to be the same thing that we see minutes from that, or 10 minutes from that, or 30 minutes from that. So we're trying to address, as meteorologists, that change over time to make those warnings as accurate as possible.
And a lot of these changes are very local. These storms are not like a hurricane. You know, we watch hurricanes impact a whole state at once. These storms are what we call mesoscale. They've got, it's the tiniest corner of that storm that can do that damage, and that's where we usually see those reports. Not everywhere in the warning, but at some spot in that warning. And I think that's the hard part about the communication, is because people think it's going to affect everyone at one time, and these types of storms just don't do that.
I think it's important to note, too, since we're sort of talking a little bit about the Branson tragedy. This wasn't a pop-up type storm that came out of nowhere. This was a line of severe storms that was very easy to see how it would progress through time.
So what I'm getting is, I can't sit there at 5 in the morning, listen to Rafa's forecast, and feel as though I'm good for the rest of the day, right? That's the first takeaway from this.
In a severe weather situation, that may be accurate to say that. I mean, on a day like today, she's going to give out a forecast, and it's probably going to be pretty spot on for the afternoon.
But it brings me to the next question. You have watches and warnings. Do you need something else? I mean, have people gotten so saturated with the idea of a warning, and it's so common now, relatively speaking, that there needs to be like a higher tier type of announcement?
We have that for tornado and flash flood, correct? That's the emergency part. That's the next tier up, is the tornado emergency, flash flood emergency. And I know that the Weather Service is working on simplifying all of these terms, because we have a lot of them already.
The National Weather Service, what they do in their warnings is they write language into the warning that specifies if it is going to be a more extreme event.
One thing that can't be lost in this, though, is that there are many and numerous examples of public and our core partners that do get the warnings, and they respond appropriately.
Thank you all three for your time tonight.
Thanks, Brian.
And Color 10 News will continue after this.